I am Professor Stanley, and I will be teaching you guys marketing. The seat you're sitting in today will be your seat for the rest of the semester. Attached is a seating chart. I'm going to pass around the seating chart. Fill it out. It says front, that's me. Back, that's back there. Put where you are and your name, first name, last initial's fine. And that way I'll know where you're sitting, okay? This is courtesy of the health department. Yay! Okay. You may be wondering why I handed you folders. I have discovered, because marketing for every semester, and last year in the spring, we ended up having to take our course online, that it is better for most students to have some place where they store all of their information. That way, if you have to go online, things don't get all messed up. You know where all your marketing stuff is, so if you have to go online, you just grab this little folder when you leave your dorm room, and guess what? This is in your marketing book, and you are all set to go, right? And then you notes you took. In here is the syllabus. The syllabus is also on Engage. We're going to go through the syllabus today. Yes, my dear. What? Yep. Do I have a pen? Not the one I can give you. When I give it to you, I can't take it back.
Oh, okay.
So ask the buddy to put your name on it, okay? All right. In the future, please bring a pen. All right. And then we're going to start chapter 1 very briefly. So here I am. These are my children. Those are important children and the non-important children. I'm Beth Stanley. I'm a market research professional. Before I came to work at St. Mary's, I did some adjuncting. My degree is, undergrad degree is in economics and marketing. Economics and mathematics from Bennington College of Vermont. And my graduate degree is in economics and econometric marketing from Northwestern. Yes, I like literature, I guess. I went from Chicago, whatever. I own a consulting firm called Market Dynamics. It specializes in consumer behavior, consumer research. Right now, previous to that, I was the vice president of market research for a company. And those are my children. There's my junior in college. He goes to the University of Wyoming. And there is my senior in high school. And she goes to Blue Valley North. Yes, Maya is Chinese. We adopted her from China at the age of 10 months. That's Rex. He goes with Seth to Wyoming. That's Gretel. She's the prima donna. And by the way, just so you know, just because she's small doesn't mean she's not in charge. And that's Gracie, the one, or as we have now started to call her, the skunky killer, because she found a skunk last night, 2 nights ago, and decided that it wouldn't only be fun to get sprayed at it, but it was really a good idea to kill it. Yeah, she probably will stop smelling like a skunk somewhere around December. Anybody else concerned? Skunk killer. This is the book. We will use the book periodically. Unfortunately, we can no longer read books. Oh, there's a visual. Oh, don't worry, don't panic. I still panic. You panic. Show that cover. Yes, that is the previous edition. The world will not come to a crashing halt if you have the previous edition. I know this is going to be shocking, but marketing has not changed drastically year to year. You're okay. This is just the latest edition, and I require that. If Professor Stanley is going too fast, at any point in time, I have a notorious habit, because I am from the East Coast, of talking fast. My mother says I talk slow, because comparatively speaking, to, I guess, what I used to do when I was a small child. She feels that I've become Midwesterners. But if I say something and you don't catch it, it's okay. Just raise your hand. Or yell, slow down. Either will do. All right. You'll notice in the syllabus that there are 12 assignments. I will distribute paper copies of them because we don't all have printers. In the back of the class every day, so every Monday. So usually you walk into class, maybe somewhere like here. Okay, take one out. You go into class and say, oh my gosh, you missed it. You fell asleep during lunch. Right? What happened? Where would you find it? You just go on Engage and it'll be there. All right? You will scan them to turn them in. How many of you have an Apple phone? An Apple phone. Do you know how to scan a document on your Apple? Go to Notes, press the little clicker, and I will put this online. Like you're taking a picture, it'll say, do you want to scan? You say scan, click, you scanned. With your Android, it's under Google, and it just says scan. The directions will be up online, okay? Maybe we'll go through the next class just to make sure. What do you think? No, we good. All right. One of the things I've realized is that in this day and age of COVID, it is really easy to get behind. So, normally Professor Stanley is pretty lax on due dates, so I'm going to become a little bit more militant. The due date is a due date. Now, if something happens and you miss a due date, you need to tell me why you missed it, and obviously, I'm flexible. But in general, let's try to get our homework in on time. I'm going to put a 50% penalty if it's not in on time, because if we go online, one of the things I discovered, and this is what the problem with having a market researcher for a teacher, is students who were on top of their homework continue to do well in the class. Students that were behind, even if they were the best damn student in the whole world, guess what happened to their grade once they went online? Yeah. We don't want that, right? Everybody wants to get A's and B's in marketing. No one wants to have to come back here and see me again because I got a D. I mean, if you really want to see me, just take another class with me. Don't repeat marketing. There will be a take-home about midterm time that'll basically cover chapters 1 through 9. The midterm, if you keep all your homework, thank you, my dear. If you keep all your homework in here, it'll be really easy to do your midterm. Another reason why this is really handy to have. We're going to do a simulation. You're thinking to yourself, oh, really? Do we have to? It's actually kind of fun. I want you to play around with this. And this is how you're going to learn some of these marketing things. So you're going to be assigned a group. There's going to be groups of 3. You're going to get assigned about class next week, partially because we have to make sure everybody's cleared the COVID test. So needless to say, it would be stupid because if you look at this class is supposed to be full. You'll be doing some stuff in your little groups. You'll be doing a strategic plan. You'll be doing a branding. You'll be doing a logo. You'll be doing a break-even analysis. And all these things will be assigned to you as we go. You'll do some peer reviews. This is where you can say, John didn't do anything on this homework, and I really dislike him because he didn't do any of his homework. And you can tell me, and I can send a very pointed note to John. There'll be a concept quiz. There'll be a final reflection paper. It's about 2 pages long, in which you just tell me what you thought of it. It's reflection. There's no judgment. It's marketing class. And then there'll be, obviously, the person who wins the simulation gets the bonus points. The second person gets a little more. The third person doesn't get as many, etc. They're just bonus points. Once we get done with the simulation, we'll move on to a marketing plan. This towards the end of the class, and you may be thinking to yourself, oh my God, Professor Stanley, this is way too much homework. But guess what? This is instead of the final. So when finals happen, you'll be like, Professor Stanley, because you will have to do a final marking. I'll assign you into other groups. So this is where you tell me you hate somebody that you were in your simulation group, whether you love them. I'll put you in another set of groups, and you'll create a marketing plan for a product. I will be giving you the product specs. You will then create it. This is a great exercise because anybody in business, somewhere in their lives, will have to create a marketing plan. If you, once you've done one, and you've got the foundations, as you go through the rest of your classes, you'll just grow onto your knowledge of it. So this is a very basic marketing plan, but it's really helpful because it does teach you the basics of creating one. It has you think about the different aspects that go into it. For the most part, everybody does really well on it. It's just a matter of participating. Have you noticed a theme on this marketing class? The theme is participate, do your homework, you'll do well. Every so often, I'll find something that's funky, and I'll give you some extra credit. I'll always post it on Engage. It'll always have a due date of probably the next class, so always check Engage if you're not in class. Right now, write down your name on this folder. So if you lose it, and don't look at me like you're never going to lose it, because someone in this class will lose it between now and next week. I can guarantee. But guess where it'll come? It'll probably come back to me. Put your name on this. That way you always have it. Inside will be your syllabus, some information on the simulation, which we'll get to next week, and your very first homework is in here. This will be due Sunday. Right there on your folder. Right there. Yep. What's my high school senior forgot to stuff one of them? I can guarantee you they're all in there. She wore a mask while doing it. So anyway, this is your homework. Get it started. I've given you plenty of time to get it done, and you need to get it done by Sunday. All right? This is going to be the first one you coach on Engage. Pretty simple. Anybody who's a little bit used to University of St. Mary's probably noticed that our syllabuses have a slightly different format in the business department. If you had a class with Dr. Escalante or Dr. Parrott or myself, you'll notice that we're all using this new format. ADA compliant, but what I like about it the best, it was a pain in the butt to do, but I really like the schedule. It's really clear. You know exactly where you stand, you know exactly what you need to do, you know exactly where you are at all times. It's another handy visual, besides having it online. I think it's always handy to have it more than one place. I'm kind of the three hit person. Some people like it visually on paper, some people like it online, some people can put it in their calendar. Everybody can do whatever way they want, but this way at least you know where you stand. All right, so everybody kind of get the structure of this class. This class is going to be structured in simulation, which we'll do most Fridays. So Monday and Wednesday will mostly be lectures. Monday will usually be something to do with the homework of the previous week that was due on Sunday. See how that works. And then Monday, what will happen? We'll then talk about what we did on Sunday. And then what will we do after that? Then we'll talk about that particular chapter. On Monday and on Wednesday, and then on Friday, we'll probably work on the simulation for that week. Tie it in sometimes to the chapter. Sometimes we're just moving through the simulation. Questions? Concerns? Oh my God, how did I get into this class and can I get out of it? Just so you know, I'm making my senior apply to the University of St. Mary's as her backup school because because obviously a teacher, and she's like, oh, well, I've had to have you for a teacher. So yeah, pretend you know. She probably could get away with it too. All right. Any questions? No one has a question? Oh my goodness, I am not that clear. All right, so you leave class, you go home, everything's going on, and all of a sudden, you need to get a hold of me. Email me, text me, I'm okay with text, but tell me who in the world you are and what class you're in. And it can be as simple as, I'm John, I'm in your marketing class, that's fine. I didn't understand that homework. Chances are, honestly, if you have a question, there's probably 12 other people who have exactly the same question who have not asked. So it's okay to ask questions. If there's a lot of people with the same question, I will usually send out a group email to all of you with some clarification. So check your emails every so often. The University of St. Mary's prefers that we communicate via email, but if you have a question for me and you want to text me, that's fine. But when I send out like big answers, like everybody needs to know, I will always send them out an email because they like us. But if it's an individual problem or, hey, Professor Stanley, my mom, I'm really concerned, I got a little behind, my mom has been sick, and I had to go home, those things are fine. You do text or just call me, all right? All right. So we're going to talk about marketing. I'm going to start the class and we're going to talk a little bit today just so we can get going because obviously this class is not as long as I'd love it to be. But we'll talk a little bit about marketing, then we'll stop, and then we'll finish it up on Friday, okay? Chapter 1. By the way, just so you know, oh, yes.
Sorry, I got a question. So is there going to be like a Dropbox on Engage or like your way?
Ah, yes. Every assignment is in Engage, and every assignment is posted. So you just basically just put your, you scan your document and put it in.
Okay. Okay.
Does that help?
No, not really.
That's okay. You know what? That's a good question, though. Let's take a look. Let's see if Professor Stanley can get Engage up here. Let's see how many things I've got open at once. Just so you know, you were the only one who asked, but that doesn't mean you're the only one who had the question. I firmly believe that there's a rule to that. Well, the computer thinks I'm someplace else. Hold on. One sec. So you probably won't have as many problems as the professor does getting in and out of Engage, but every so often it decides you're in it and it will not let you out. Oh, there we go. Okay. So here we are in marketing. You'll go down, you'll pull up marketing, and you'll be like, oh, da, da, da. Oh, what do I have on week 1? Oh, look here. Look, on week 1, there is some readings. There's this grocery store application thing I got to do. Oh, so then you go into that. See, whatever has this little, what do you want to call it? Hand with a, looks like somebody's got a ticket in their hand, doesn't it? Is that what it's supposed to be? It's the icon of the hand turning in the paper. Okay. Whenever you see that, that's where you're supposed to turn in your assignment. So then you click on this assignment right here, and you'll have the ability to turn it in. I unfortunately have the ability to see that you have turned it in. So you can see that there are 29 of you in the class and none of you have turned it in. Shocker, you just got it today. But you would be able to actually turn it in. Does that help?
Yeah.
No, it's really okay. What are you wondering?
So what I'm usually used to is like there's like an option for you to like browse your computer and it's like file. I'm just kind of like looking for that.
Oh, yes. Okay, so see, because I don't have that view.
Oh, but that would be there for us.
Yes.
Okay, cool. That's all I did.
Yeah, unfortunately, they won't let Professor Stanley turn in homework. I know this one, but basically, yes, you'll go in and it'll be an option of what it is. I should have switched to the student view versus me down here. I didn't think about that. That probably would help a ton.
Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good. All right. So that was much more helpful than the professor was. All right. All right. All right. Are we ready? All right. But yes. And by the way, because Engage is brand new in terms of for the University of St. Mary's as a whole, I taught on the lines of Engage, but it's totally different. If something doesn't seem to be working right, you just need to let us know. We as professors tend to move everything over to Engage this summer. So it's like, what did I do during my summer vacation? That's what I did. So if I missed something, let us know. It's very possible a lot of us have missed something. All right. The American Marketing Association has a definition for marketing that basically says it is the set of activities, institutions, and processes that create, communicate, deliver, exchange, or have exchanging of offerings to value to consumers, clients, partners, and society as a whole. Blah, 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 right? What do we really say? Because that's really just a lot of words, isn't it? We're really saying that marketing has two facets. Marketing is a philosophy. It's the idea of looking at attitudes and looking at perspectives and looking at the management orientation that stresses your customer satisfaction. And you keep seeing that when you look at marketing, the marketing course. There's a certain aspect of the marketing that has all to do with how a company decides how to market itself, how to get itself out there to talk about itself. And then you'll have the second half of it, which is more about the organizational activity, how an organization creates, communicates, and delivers and literally the value to the customers. And what do I mean by this? What is this? Okay, it's probably one of the most famous soup cans in the world, correct? Thanks to Andy Warhol, I think it's one of the most famous soup cans in the world. Anyway, the point being is it's a fairly identifiable soup, isn't it? Campbell Soup's company has to have a way to know what is the most desirable soup, what is the least desirable soups, what are consumers' trends in soups, what do they want in a soup. For instance, this says it's heart healthy. 20 years ago, a Campbell Soup can did not say it was heart healthy. Why does this Campbell Soup can say it's heart healthy? Because that is something that's very important to the consumers today. This is the notion of the whole organization always having to look to see what the consumers want. What's this? These two things hold the same thing. The only difference is this one requires you to open it up, get a blob of gelatinized soup out, insert in an equal can of, depending whether you want milk or water, stir it around, heat it up, and you'll get soup. Ta-da, right? This requires a pan. What does this require? A microwave. Where did we get to this? Why do we have this? This required understanding what? Having processes in your institution that allowed them to figure out that this was something that was needed. So part of marketing is understanding your customers, understanding what they want, and then reacting to their wants and needs. It could be as simple as telling them that this is heart healthy, or it could be making this portable. could be throwing it around too. The other thing is, look at the top of the lid. What did you used to have to use to open these? You see any need for can opener anymore? That's another aspect of marketing. Sorry. Goldfish, right? The name says it all. All little candy, small little snacks look like goldfish, correct? Very, very creatively named, based on their shape. Started off in a big, enormous box. You know, those little little things. Then they went to these, and then discovered that some parents didn't find that very handy if they had small children. So what did they invent? They found that people were walking around with plastic containers full of goldfish for their kids. So, oh, I don't want them just to have a goldfish container. Why not have Mr. Goldfish that we can take along with us? And he holds our goldfish. Oh, come on, it's a lot more fun than a plastic container, isn't it? You too want one, don't you, for your backpack? But that is one of the facets to marketing that's really important, is understanding and having a process in your company that allows you to create things, communicate, deliver, and exchange things that are valued to your customer. Whether your customer is a client, like for instance, Walmart, or whether your customer is you and I, whether you've got partners, or whether or not it's just society as a whole. All of those things have to do with how we market things. To deliver that value, we have to communicate, we have to talk, we have to use communication and pricing strategies and distribution strategies to get to our customers. So we're going to learn all about that this semester. We're going to learn all about how to create a long-term relationship. How do we know what your customers need unless they have the ability to tell you? And in this day and age of social media, we do have the ability to tell each other, don't we? What do we have the ability to tell each other? We have the ability to tell each other tons of stuff. We can actually go out there, troll with our customers, have our customers tell us what they want and need, have our customers tell us what they're using their product for, etc. Correct? We can look at relationships. Starbucks is a classic example of this. Think of all the touchy-feely things that Starbucks does to get you to come back over and over and over and over again. And it's not just about coffee, because you can buy coffee a lot of places. It's a lot more than just coffee. And it's understanding everybody who's involved, because at Pepperidge Farms, your employee needs to be vested in this little goldfish container as much as your customers do, as does Walmart who's distributing. Because you never know where the next idea is going to come. And remember, every one of your employees is also a consumer. And the companies who make that mistake are the ones that fail. Some of the most successful companies in the world, Unilever, Procter & Gamble, General Mills, who own tons and tons of brands, are very, very, very successful because they listen to their employees. Kraft has a test kitchen in which they have their employees go down to test things. Why not? They're there. Free food, free feedback. Ta-da! Easy. So, to sum this all up, it really is delivering value and benefits. It's not just selling services. And this is where you have to kind of flip your orientation away from the notion of we sell things to, yes, indeed, at the end of the day, we want people to buy things, right? This is a capitalistic society. Buying things are how we make money. But we're selling something that's a benefit or a value. If it's not a benefit or a value for the customer, it's a one-hit wonder. Because the customer will never buy it again. And whether you're selling them a car, a water bottle, a beautiful computer, you want to sell them something that they're going to like the experience enough that the next computer they buy, they're going to buy the same thing. Think about our our phones. Why do we become so damn loyal to a kind of phone? They're not selling us a phone. They're selling us a value and a benefit that makes us want to come back. If my phone didn't talk to my computer, that didn't talk to my iPad, that didn't talk to my cloud, that didn't talk to my kids' stuff, that didn't have it, right? Would I necessarily do that as easily as I do now? It's a value. It's value and benefits that really sell things in the long term. Otherwise, you're just a sales company, and you're just selling things to sell them. So that's what marketing is all about, and that's the reason why we have marketing for everybody who's in the business department, is because it does integrate into everything we sell. Or do. Good? That's it. You are dismissed for today, and I will see you guys on Friday, and we'll get into this. Now, everybody needs to remember 2 things on Friday. What? First thing is, hold it high, hold it proud, the folder. Second thing is, a writing utensil. You hold the experience, but I'm going to get a question. Write an email? Okay, yes, you can do it. And then you write an email to them. Some people did. Actually, what were you? But you can protect it. Your hard copy. A lot of times in marketing, I don't see what everybody knows. Everybody else will restrict you to what you want. Everybody knows on the seating chart, right? Okay, because otherwise I don't know you're here. It's a mystery. So did you actually end early too?
Yeah, that was well.
That's so funny.
Mm-hmm.